This is William Mason, and I'm going to present my AT2 assessment. That my student card, and here we have my student account on the Virginia US East VMs. Okay. Now we're gonna do my region, ID card name, and AWS account. Let's go to my program, which is already running, ready to generate some allocations. As you can see, it's unresponsive while it's not showing. There we are. We have a configuration and validate it. I've got a valid configuration under the time. Test. That's my configuration, which is also valid for the large file and the extra large. Generate, and we'll validate that one. They're all valid. We'll go through my configuration of the AWS, starting with the VM health. All instances are running, and all 2.2 checked. All on the availability zones, respectively. This bottom one is just not part of it's my original test VM. These three are the load balancing created ones. We have zones. Alright, so start off with the scale groups. Scaling groups. We have 3 auto scaling groups. Let's go into the small. Maximum capacity of 4 CPUs, 4 VMs, with the instance type T2 and the scaling policies. To maintain average at 70. And remove capacity units as required, and then 30-second warm-up. And activity can see, where are we? Monitoring. C2. Where are we? Instance management. We have a healthy VM on small, on nano, capacity 4, scaling 70 and 30, and then go to instance management, healthy, nano, instance type. And the third one, which is the micro, 4, the instance type of micro, auto scales at 70 with a 30-second warm up, and it is also healthy. That's 3 healthy. I'll scale in enabled. Scale in. And scaling is enabled on all of them. If I go back to here. Scaling is enabled. Scaling in is enabled. And the micro. Scaling in is enabled. Awesome. Availability zones. Where is our availability zones? Micro security groups. A and B is on that one. Okay, micro, nano, availability zone of A and B, ASG, availability zone here. Okay, that should be everything. Health, availability zone, scaling policies, all done. Launch configuration. We've got a launch configuration of each VM type, a small, micro, and a nano, small, micro, and nano. Target groups, 3 target groups, small, micro, and nano. They're all on the AT2 application load balancer over here, and check the health of the VM. Health checking, targets, healthy. Nano, health checking, targets, healthy. Small, health checking, targets, healthy, and availability B. Security groups. Here's security groups. We have a micro, a nano, a small, and the application load balancer. Check the rules of each of these, inbound rules, HTTP and RDP, and outbound is all traffic. That's for the micro. Nano, got the same, and the same. Application load balancer, outbound is all, inbound is RDP, HTTP, security, and small, TCP, or RDP, HTTP, and all traffic outbound. On the security groups, AMIs, and here we have the status of the AMI is available. Image 1, ID, source, platform windows. Here's all the details. And the application load balancer. We have here, we go to our listeners, view and edit the rules. We have the fixed response for when the path is just slash. For anything to the small is forwarded to the small target group. Anything to the micro is forwarded to the micro target group. Anything to a nano is forwarded to the nano target group. And otherwise you get an error response. And now we're on to show the second thread on our code. So if we go to our code, not there. Where is it? This one. Go to our code, and you can see here is where we call and run the call operations on the second thread. Run the program while the GUI thread waits. Show the CPU. Now we're going to show some CPU performance on the VMs while the program is running. Let's start the program. Here it is. Generate allocation. See here we've got some activity on all 3 of the VMs, showing that it's spreading across them all. Here's a larger file with the larger ones, and more activity going up to 2 and peaking at 2.5, 3%. We'll go to the next one. The extra large. And here we're just getting little bumps to show activity across. Show no control. When I click here, I can show that there's no control of the GUI until it receives a new allocation. If I wait for the large, nothing, 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 and there we are. So the 5-minute deadline. Here we can see that I have them all set to 5 minutes for the timeout, and I'm going to go ahead and change this to 1, which will allow the possibility for service 1 to allocate something if it's fast enough, and the rest shouldn't be able to allocate. So I'll clear my debugger, start, and bring this up, generate the allocation. See, they all timed out, nothing shows up in the console. And then we hit it again, got 4 allocations out of it this time. And 2 of them timed out, so I can show that some of them times out, and if they time out, 4 of them did time out, and 2 of them made it through. So the 2 on the fastest one that had time made it through, and the rest did not. And yeah, you can see that they made it, and we got an allocation. What else do I need to show? Where is it? Yeah. So here we should be able to see at roughly the same time peaks, and with these peaks you'll be able to see there that they are run at the same time, because instead of having just 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you can see they're a little bit more moundy, which means that they're running at more at the same time and concurrently. I believe that is everything. Display my code for the try catch, and lastly here is my code for the try catch. We try, and if the result with no errors, we add it to our result, check if our completed count is the start count, and auto reset if it is, and our completed count. If there is an exception, an inner exception on a timeout from the app config, then we'll hit this and run a timeout counter with the completed counter, so the app doesn't get locked out. And then we do the same, but this is for when we get an exception from the server side, and we have a timeout plus on all this, and for when a timeout occurs on the VM, and same for all the services. Yeah, that should be everything. Thank you.